Before I get started and before we even start getting into what we're going to talk about in this video, let me make this very clear. If you're a female or you easily get offended, you might as well click off this video now. Not because I'm going to say crazy hot takes and just speak out of my mind, but because what I'm going to say, I'm going to be very blunt and get straight to the point. The title of this video is probably going to be something like the harsh truth about girls basketball, and the reason for that is because it is the harsh truth. It's 2021 and we live in arguably one of the softest generations of all time. People don't want to be told what they need to hear, they want to be told what they want to hear so they can feel good about themselves. I absolutely hate it, but hey, it is what it is. To go along with that, most times in life, people don't want to hear the truth because the truth hurts and it's scary. About 80% of the time, the truth is going to hurt that person's feelings, but that's what they need to hear. Me personally, I can't speak for you, but I'd rather hear the truth and it hurt my feelings than being lied to. At least with me saying this, now you can't say that I didn't warn you, so if you still continue to watch, that's on you. This is going to be a very hot topic, and it's also going to be one of the most interesting videos we've ever done on this channel. All I'm going to say is that what I say, I will have facts and evidence to back it up. So without further ado, let's get into it. First things first, I want to put this out there. I think females are great and we gotta have them in this world. They do a lot of great things and it's important to value them and not disregard them in anything in life. I'm not going to be disregarding them as people, but we're talking about basketball, so you gotta understand that. Basketball is one of the greatest sports out there and it's also arguably the most entertaining sport out of all of them. Yeah, baseball and soccer and golf and other sports are cool, but they're not as entertaining as football and basketball. But however, with that being said, I'm going to be very blunt in this next statement. The WNBA and girls basketball in general is failing because it's flat out boring. It's not exciting, it's just straight up boring, and that's the only way to put it. Let's not beat around the bush. Girls basketball is basketball played in the right way in its purest form. They play the game the way it's supposed to be played. They make bounce passes, chest passes, and do right-handed and left-handed layups. They listen to their coach, and they always run the play 99% of the time. So therefore, it also leaves us with the weird question, why doesn't anyone like it? Well, to answer that, ask yourself this question. Would you rather watch Sue Bird take a pass from one of her teammates and finish with a left-handed layup, or watch Tracy McGrady grab a rebound, go down the fast break, and dunk on who's ever in his way? Exactly, that's my point right there. You'd rather watch Tracy McGrady block a shot, take the ball down the court, and dunk on somebody. But hold on, don't get me wrong, I like women's basketball and it's fine. But to ask me to watch it outside of the NCAA tournament, you've got to be kidding me. I already know what some of you are about to do. You're about to go to the comment section and write something about how terrible I am. But before you do that, listen to this. That entire statement that I just read didn't even come from me. That came from an article that Bleacher Report put out. Starting when I said the WNBA is failing because it's boring up until the Tracy McGrady statement and the NCAA tournament, that entire quote and statement is from Bleacher Report themselves. That's not even from me, that's from another person and they put it out there. To be quite frank with you guys, I wish I could take credit for that because I agree with them 100%. Girls basketball is boring and there's no other way to put it. I'm not going to sit up here and go over each and every example as to why it's boring, you just got to understand it. I actually have a very funny story about girls basketball that happened when I was in high school. When I was on my varsity team, I had a teammate and he never showed up to the game until the girls basketball game was over before ours. Of course, the coach would get mad about this and sometimes he'd even sit him out, but that's a different story for another day. I never could understand it because he was never late to class, he was never late to anything else, so one day I finally went up to him and was like, yo, why are you always late to our games? He wasn't late to our games, but we were supposed to be there during the girls game, and he wouldn't show up till it was exactly over. When I asked him that question, he looked me dead in the eyes and said, I'd rather watch paint dry than to watch the girls basketball team play. That's how bad it is. He said he couldn't even stand it and it makes him want to headbutt the wall. I'm not gonna go as far as you saying I feel that exact same way, but I can see what he's saying. I've tried to sit down and enjoy a girls basketball game and it's impossible for me. Unless it's a championship game or the NCAA tournament, there's no other way I would watch one of them. Just like the article said though, it has nothing to do with how they play the game because they play it the right way. The problem with this is that it's flat out boring. They're not athletic, they can't dunk, and they can't move very fast. The game is played at a very slow pace and it's always low scoring. That's just one of the reasons, and we have a long way to go and things are about to start to heat up. As not just a basketball fan, but as a sports fan in general, I love to see players go at it and trash talk one another. In basketball there's always trash talk, in football there's always trash talk, and many other things. Riddle me this though, when's the last time you saw high school girls go at it and trash talk? In a 30-game season in your local high school or college and even the WNBA, it might happen 1 to 2, maybe 3 times the entire season. But for high school basketball and for boys, they trash talk every single game. Now, I'm not gonna say they're gonna get thrown out and get technicals every game, but there's always trash talk. And as a sports fan, that's what gets me excited because it pumps you up. A brief example I'm gonna use is look at Jake Paul. A lot of you may hate him, but he is a marketing genius. A bunch of you don't understand that Jake Paul is not this a-hole that he tries to be. He's actually really smart. Him calling out all these boxers and having this ego is marketing and branding himself. 99% of the people don't get that, but the 1% will. He does all that trash talk so people can tune in because when somebody's trash talking, people want to see what's going to happen. Look at it from this standpoint. If Jake Paul was a humble guy and never said anything, never tweeted, never posted, or none of that, nobody would care. For all those reasons I just said, that is the perfect example of boys versus girls. I'm not even just talking about the WNBA, I'm talking about all of girls basketball. What's hurting them is that they're too nice, that's just how girls are, and their game is boring. Something eventually is going to have to change. Moving on with our video, I saw this on Twitter yesterday and it fits our video perfectly. This person tweeted out, "Bro, traveling with the WNBA is so weird. Like you fly private in college, become a pro, and fly commercial." If you don't understand what that lady was saying, she was talking about how in college they was flying on private planes, but now in the NBA they're flying in commercial. The reason I brought that up is because that goes to show you the WNBA doesn't have any money and they're not making that much. I also brought that tweet up because it leads us perfectly into the main point of this video. With everything that's been going on in this world recently in the past year or two, I've seen so much stuff where female players are saying that they need to get paid more money, and even NBA players are saying they deserve more. Let me make this clear. I'm not saying they don't deserve more, and I'm not saying they do deserve more. But what I'm about to say is 100% fact, so you better listen. It doesn't matter what you think about the situation, they're not going to get paid more, and it's because of supply and demand. The reason WNBA players get paid $50,000 to $75,000 a year is because that's all they can afford to pay them. People try to make it seem like the WNBA is making billions and billions of dollars and they're not paying these females. That's completely flat out wrong. That's not what's going on. What's really happening and what people aren't going to tell you is that nobody's going to their games. Therefore, they're not generating money. Therefore, when you're not generating money, you can't pay the people that work for you. The reason that girl had to fly commercial is because WNBA doesn't generate enough money for that team or whoever went with her to travel on private. I'm going to dumb it down even more because I know some people are going to try to say I'm wrong and they're not going to understand. Since we talked about Jake Paul, let's just use him for the trend of this video. Let's say me and you are going to fight and Jake Paul and Floyd Mayweather are going to fight on the same night. Let's say me and you are fighting in Atlanta and Jake Paul and Floyd Mayweather are fighting in Florida. Jake Paul is going to sell out his fight and he's going to make a lot of money so the people that host the fight can pay him a lot of money. On the other hand, me and you are fighting and we're not going to sell out. We're probably going to sell 25% capacity. So theoretically, the people that are hosting the event, they can't pay us as much as the people that pay Jake Paul. To dumb it down even more, the people that are hosting Jake Paul's fight say he's going to get 5% of everything. And let's say me and you, we get 5% of everything. Since we didn't sell out, we're not going to make as much as Jake Paul did. But it has nothing to do with them not paying us the right amount of money. It has everything to do with how Jake Paul gets more attention and sells out. If you don't get the point by now, I don't know what to tell you. I tried to give you so many examples. The WNBA and women's basketball will never be exciting until either A, they start trash talking, or B, the game gets exciting. And I don't know how it would get exciting. Maybe if they lowered the goal to 8 foot and had a fight every quarter, that would change it, but I don't know. To sum it all up, the women, they're not getting underpaid, they're getting paid what they're worth. It's vice versa. The NBA, they're not getting overpaid, they're getting paid what they're worth. You get what you bring in, it's very simple. To make things even more interesting, I had a poll on my channel 3 months ago and I said, serious question, would you rather get $1 or get tickets to a WNBA game? That poll had 16,000 votes and 54% of the people said $1. I think a lot of people thought I was trolling in that poll, but I was being dead serious. I can't speak for you, and if you'd rather go to the game, that's fine. But for me personally, I mean this. I'd rather have $1 than go to a girls' basketball game. I don't care if it's high school, college, or the WNBA. We don't have to feel the same way, but I did that poll because I was very curious. And $1 won, so that means a lot of people must agree with me. For the people that question that, here's my reason for it. I'm just not excited by girls' basketball, and that's a preference for me. I'd rather have the dollar and go do something else that I want to do. Going to a WNBA game, you gotta park, do all that stuff. You're gonna be there for 2 or 3 hours, and I don't want to be there in the first place. And matter of fact, when I really think about it, you couldn't pay me $5 or even $10 to go to one. But guess what? You can do what you want with that information. Drop your comments down below. Well, I know you're going to drop your comments. This is going to be a very hot and controversial topic, like always. I want to end this video off with this. Once again, I think females are great, but they're just boring to watching basketball. It's nothing personal. And please always respect your females and your mothers out there because they're very important, and I mean that. But with all that being said, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. If you're new to the channel, what are you doing? Join the family. We're on the road to 5 milli. Don't Flight say that or something? I heard that somewhere. Anyways, as always, let's be great. I'm out, y'all. Peace.